Hi, I'm Dr. Jackie Bell and I'm a Senior Teaching Fellow of the Department of Computing at Imperial College London. We're really excited to be working with the Mathematical Games Company Ltd and their new app, cZeus Maths Challenger, to be working with schools from across the UK and beyond on a new Schools League competition, which will be coming to an area near you very soon. By downloading the app, students and teachers will be able to play through a range of puzzles which are designed to test a lot of different skills that are across the curriculum. By developing these skills, you'll be able to then compete in class competitions and leagues before building up to a national league against other schools within your area. The top schools will be coming to here, Imperial College, to compete in a live final very soon.
Hi, I'm Will Nottenbelt. I'm a professor in the Department of Computing at Imperial College London, and I've been a really big fan of cZeus for many years now because I really agree with their mission to boost numeracy, which is ever so important in the modern world. And what I like about the game is that when you play it, you find yourself using skills and applying concepts like highest common factors or lowest common multiples that you didn't even realize you were using. And I think it's great to be able to develop such a broad range of skills beyond the basics of addition and multiplication.
My name is Nicolo, I'm from Italy, and I did a master's in machine learning here at Imperial College. And I graduated in September. I took a couple months of holiday, and then I started working at a Boston consulting group as an associate consultant. Yeah, now I play cZeus. As Imperial College student, the main time investment for me in cZeus was actually funny. I started playing it because I was trying to prepare for my interview for Boston Consulting Group. In interviews for consulting, you need to do a lot of mental math on the spot with the interviewer in front of you without a calculator, so it requires you to have done some practice. When I found the game at the beginning of the year, I realized this is actually quite a fun way to practice loads of math, which is probably the only way I'm going to practice it, otherwise it's too dull to prepare for the interview. Yeah, I started playing, and I played for months before doing the interview, just to literally practice mental math to do well in the interview, and it worked. So.
I'm Alexis, come from France. I was with Nicolo in the master at Imperial College, and now I'm doing a PhD in the computer science department, and also play cZeus a lot. I think in cZeus you can have many different aspects. You have obviously the logic part of it, but you have also the numerical part of it. I think it's different from the Sudoku.
Yes, I think the main difference is that Sudoku is just logic, right? So you're just trying to find the pattern of numbers that fits in the matrix that's given, while in cZeus, on top of having the logic of trying to find the right numbers, you also have an element of doing mathematical calculations. You literally have to do the multiplications and divisions in your head. And there is also an aspect of memorization. So in the harder levels, you need to look ahead some steps without writing them down, which means you're going to have to memorize what numbers you planned on putting in which boxes, and then work your way to see if that's a correct combination or not. So that entails memorizing quite a few numbers and quite a few combinations. So it has an aspect of memorization that Sudoku doesn't have, or 2048 doesn't have.
As an Imperial College student, I play a lot cZeus, especially in the morning, because it wakes me up when I got a bit sleepy, and so then I got more efficient with my brain, and so that's why I play cZeus. Okay, I think it's the social aspect of the game, because you can create a team, join teams, and compete with other people all around the world. Have you seen this guy who is always first to all the challenges?
Right, yeah, the guy from Singapore.
Yes, true.
Yeah, he's a tough one to beat, I agree.
Yeah.
I think the competitive aspect is one of the fun parts, right? And it's also missing a lot in the other brain games, if you want to call them like that, like Sudoku or 2048. you normally play by yourself, right? You open the game, you solve your Sudoku puzzle, and you quit the game. Probably Titan.
The hardest one, right?
Yeah, the hard one. I think it's because, I mean, it's personal preference. I think I really enjoy memorization tasks, keeping stuff in mind, and a lot of the challenge in Titan is to solve the puzzle, like to look ahead in the puzzle in your head and keep all the solution you're doing in your head and then work your way back. So I think I enjoy a lot the memorization, the keeping in my head all the stuff I've done. How about you?
Okay, I think I would prefer a medium level one because I think it's a good trade-off in between speed and also logic. So I would prefer this kind of puzzles.
So like a hero.
Yeah, Euro, for example.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that makes sense. I think the too low levels sometimes is mainly about speed, and sometimes I get like bored of the fact that it's only speed, like Immortal. And I agree that the hard ones sometimes it's like a lot of thinking. If you're a bit tired, maybe it's too much. So yeah, I can see the medium level. It's a bit of a good trade-off. I mean, to be honest, yes, I think so. The game is loads of fun. I won't stop being fun just because I started working. And I do think it still has a lot of useful aspects even for adult life, for older people. Like the society has evolved a lot with the rise of technology to be a bit lazy and like stop practicing math, especially when you get out of school and you don't need to do mental math anymore. I think you start losing a bit the feeling for it. So I think even when you're older, it helps you keep active that part of the brain. So it does have a useful thing, and I mean, it's still loads of fun, right? So I definitely keep playing. So actually, I think one of the things I like is not just the competition against others, but the competition against yourself, right? Because there is this whole part of the statistics in which you see how you've performed, your fastest time, your best score, your highest score for each category, how many games you played. So I like to check that quite often to see if I managed to beat myself. I don't know if you do the same or...
Yeah, obviously I do the same, and sometimes I ask you to compare with you if I've done more games than you, or if I beat you on particular difficulty. Do you have any idea of your stat, like for Mortal or Titan?
I don't know how, to be honest, I don't know how many games. I must have like a ridiculous amount of games because I've been playing for a year and a half every day. So I think I have a few thousand games for Mortal. I know my fastest time on any puzzle is on a Mortal, it's 10 seconds, that's for sure. I don't know about the highest scores in Mortals, but yeah, I mean, I think it's one of the great parts of the game is also the self competition. I check my Mortal one relatively often because I think it's the I don't know, it's a lot about speed, right? And one of the stats is time. So I have recently managed to beat my high score in the Mortal, so I solved the Mortal puzzle in 10 seconds.
How, man? Mine is 12 and already struggling with that. How do you do?
Yeah, that was a fast run. To be honest, I don't know how. Yeah, I mean, I must have played a few thousand games on the Mortal. So after a while, one game will end up being about 10 seconds. It does take a while, I think, to end up in the high end of the leaderboard. I think we played loads before we started being actually good at the game.